Okay, hi, good morning. This is Sherry at Garden Angel Design, and I'm over here at my friend Rena's house, and we're going to do a walk and talk, and you'll see her amazing garden, which is like also chock full of unusual plants and beautiful flowers. So this is my friend Rena.
Hi, happy to be here.
Yeah, and
Very excited.
She has a channel too. It's also called Wisdom Collective.
By Rena.
By Rena.
Mm-hmm.
And she does walk and talks, and she has like meditations, and she has her pajama chronicles.
Oh, yeah.
She's got all kinds of videos on beautiful bouquets. Anyway,
I'm kind of like a flower maniac.
Yeah,
I
she's
am.
a flower maniac. I've also heard her say she's a garden maniac.
That I am too, and a plant maniac.
Self-professed.
That's it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I want to just jump right in and ask you some questions.
Okay.
And I know your dad has had a huge influence on your gardening and all that. So maybe if you could just riff a little about your dad and how he influenced you.
Yeah. I kind of start with just the idea of how I was inspired to create this property and how I landed at this property.
Yeah.
My husband and I at the time, so I've been here for 31 years now.
Wow.
Be 32 years next April. But we were looking for a home, and we were living in a small duplex, which was great. I actually had a nice garden there too, and that was my first really experience of gardening on my own.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And but inspired to have a property that had space. I grew up on my dad's farm, which is an acre, and he was a plant maniac. Definitely.
Yeah.
We used to tease, don't give Dad a seed because he'll plant it, no matter what it is. So, but because I grew up on a farm, like an urban farm, you know, we lived in the city, but it was a big lot, which is like this. Yeah. So I live within the city boundaries, but it's an old neighborhood built in the 50s. And so we all had big space. And the reason that this property inspired me was not because of the house. It's just a 50s ranch style. There's nothing fabulous about it.
Yeah.
But the mature trees on the property.
On this property we're at today.
And
yeah.
And the neighborhood. So this is a neighborhood. We don't have sidewalks. It's very old style that way. And everybody is on sewer and well.
When was your house built in the 60s?
No, it was built in the 50s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was built in the 50s. So this little neighborhood was a little finger way in the southwest corner of Santa Rosa. And there was nothing around it but just naked land, farmland, you know, so very undeveloped. So in the last 30 years, I've seen a lot of development happen.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons that, and I knew they were going to develop behind me. So there's I guess it's like 300 plus homes built, and they're all really tight.
Yeah.
But I did a bunch of research when we found this property, and I found out that number one, this is a 100-year floodplain that we're on, and so there's lots of vernal pools. And when they built that complex of homes, they had to maintain a vernal pool.
Yes.
And so there's I think it's like a 5-acre, maybe it's a 10-acre vernal pool just north of me. And the 3 properties between me and the vernal pool, our properties are like dominoes. So my domino goes north and south. The rest of the street dominoes go east and west. And so those properties are built behind me. And because we're on we're on our own well and septic, you can't build. Because you can't build over your septic, your leach field. So all that for me was yes. It was all green lights.
Yeah.
And so, and it was just within our budget, and we bought it.
That's great.
And I love it.
Yeah.
I'm just so thrilled.
What a great story. And vernal pools is like that's a really specific habitat. And you don't find them in too many places in the world. And it attracts lots of birds and all, so so that's really nice. That you have
Lots of
that.
frogs.
Yes, there's
Lots
a
of
lot of
frogs.
frogs in this garden.
A lot of frogs in this garden.
Yeah.
And that attracts snakes too, because it's food for them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of animals. I feel like this property is really a habitat, like a natural habitat.
Mm-hmm.
So as I plant and as I grow things, to me, it being a habitat is really important
Yeah.
for
sure.
nature and for people.
Yeah.
It's like a healing habitat for all creatures, including humans.
And people.
Absolutely.
So Rena has meditations that happen in her garden,
Yeah.
monthly meditations, and we
Yeah.
do potlucks here. So this is a
Yeah.
community gathering place.
Really is.
And it's just a really awesome place. We make crafts. She has a reef making workshop. And then
let me interrupt on that because what's fun about the wreath making workshop, I do it every Christmas so that people can come and make their own wreaths.
yeah,
It started probably 20 years ago, and it started out as just like a neighborhood. I invited all the neighbors, which is great because I know my neighbors.
yeah,
Not only do we wave and say hello, but we hang out.
Yeah.
And so it's like my neighborhood family. And that was the purpose for it in the beginning, and it has just exploded into this wonderful thing that community happens every November, every late November, getting ready for Christmas, making wreaths.
right. And you are a catalyst for creating that community.
Thank you.
You
Thank
put
you.
your heart into it.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. It's important to me.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. That's good. Okay. So you've lived here for how long?
We bought this property in 94.
94.
Yeah. Yeah. That was one thing that was interesting is I brought a lot of potted plants from my old home, which I had lived in for 12 years, which was a rental. And I brought them over and there was no garden. When I moved in here, there was no garden. There were a couple of trees, but
Okay.
nothing. I mean, we'll look later, but there's a huge bay tree here, a native bay.
Yeah.
And I planted that when it was a sprig. And that was inspired, again, this was my dad. We went out on a mushroom hike. He came up to visit, because I grew up in San Bernardino County. He came up to visit, and we went out on a mushroom hike because it had just rained a couple of days earlier. So we went out to the oak savanna looking for mushrooms. And I found this little bay sprig.
Oh, wow.
And then I found
So big.
an old milk carton out in the thicket, whatever, somebody's trash, and I dug it up with a stick, put it in the milk carton, brought it home, and planted it. So I always call this my dad's bay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so you've been here like 32 years, you said?
It'll be 32 next April.
Okay.
Yeah, which blows my mind that it's been that long, but
Great.
yeah.
So can you tell me how your dad, he was such an avid gardener himself, how you grew up there and
Yeah.
obviously he had an influence on your gardening.
Yeah. Yeah.
So can you just talk about him a little bit?
Yeah. I'd love to.
Okay.
He's a special person.
And what's his
he's
name?
gone now, John.
John.
Yep, John Radich.
Mm-hmm.
And his farm, he named his farm the NSA Farm, which is New Stone Age Farm.
Right.
That's what it stands for. And he was a collector, and he was a garden maniac. But when I was growing up, I didn't want to have anything to do with outside gardening at all.
Really?
I was a houseplant maniac.
Oh.
Just tons of houseplants. And so that's how I cut my teeth on growing and propagating and caring for plants, potted plants. And I remember him telling me, have you ever thought about making your own soil? And I thought, no, I'm going to buy it in the bag.
That's
So I was
funny.
such a rebel, And of course, now I make my own soil, and I always think, okay, Dad, I'm doing it.
Yeah, that's interesting. So we have that in common because
Yes.
I just had houseplants too.
Really?
I didn't know I was a gardener yet.
Oh, nice. That's
When
it.
I was
yeah.
in my 20s.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So anyway,
And then when I moved to my duplex, and I was there for 12 years, I asked my sister, I said, okay, I want something that like has profuse blooms. So teach me what that is and how to grow it, and that's what I'm going to do. So for 3 years, I had petunias. Like crazy, I had petunias.
Okay.
And so that's how I started. And then my dad started bringing plants. And so I started getting into it. And I moved into that property. And first thing I did was I planted an apple tree and a peach tree.
Yeah.
And I think the neighbors thought I was nuts. But I was there for 12 years. So I harvested plenty of fruit off those trees. And just slowly he would help me and inspire me. And that was always in my background. You know, the property, the plants. He was very much about unusual plants. He was part of the rare fruit growers in Southern California, and
He was a collector of plants.
he was a collector of plants, and he was a master gardener and a botanist.
I didn't know that about him.
Yeah,
He was a master gardener.
yeah, he
Oh,
was a
that's
master gardener.
awesome.
Yeah, just like you. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, and so that inspired me to be willing to go outside the box, outside of the petunia world, so to speak, right? Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great. Okay.
Yeah, and it wasn't until later. Shall I keep?
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, you can go more on about that if you
Okay.
have more to say about
I
him.
do.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So inspiring. So when we got to this property, I started planting, and he kept bringing plants, and they would be unusual, and some would not be unusual. But I have 2 fig trees that came from my grandmother's property
Wow.
in LA.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's great.
and they're not figs that are common. So one's a big, I don't know what their name is, what their varietal is, but one's a big golden flesh and golden colored on the outside, and then the other one is like a dark purple on the outside, but bright pink on the inside. And it's not a brown turkey.
That sounds like the one are they big?
They're big.
Sounds like
They're big.
It might be the same as mine.
I wonder.
Which they didn't know the name of it when I just asked a client if I could take a cutting. And
Yeah.
it's huge now.
See, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the inspiring thing.
Yeah.
Is taking cuttings and propagating.
I know. That's a whole.
That's a whole different.
We can look at your succulents later.
Oh, okay, good.
Speaking of that, when things get out of control a little bit.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Anyway.
Yeah. So then I spent, when my father passed away in 2009, what are you going to do with an acre farm, right?
Yeah.
And 40 plus years on his property collecting all the family stuff. So everything landed at his property. And so me and my sister were sitting at the kitchen table down there after we both flew down and looking at each other saying, well, somebody has to stay. Somebody has to stay and take care of the plants.
That's right. And then you
So
were there for a few years,
I
right?
volunteered, and I thought it was going to be 6 months, and it was 2 years.
Wow.
2 years of me working the farm, and
Potting
really
up plants too?
no,
Not
not
too much?
really. No, it was very much about cleaning up, getting rid of, and every deceased wife, all her stuff was there. So I had so much stuff I had to get rid of. But the plant material, learning about it, and one of the fabulous things is I got to know my dad as a plant person when I was down there. I went to the rare fruit growers in his stead. It's like I was carrying the flag for the NSA farm, and I went every week, and they all knew the property.
Oh, sure, yeah.
You know, and the fruit and whatever, and that was wonderful. So there was this whole, it was like I created this life where I stepped into my dad's world. And his plants, it gives me chills just thinking about it. The rare fruit growers, and then his really dear friend, which was Oscar Clarke.
Right, Oscar.
He's a botanist. He ran at the Riverside Botanical Garden. So he was a professor at UC Riverside, and his property butted up against the Botanical Garden of UC Riverside.
Oh, wow.
But Oscar and my dad shared a lot of plants and a lot of time. And so Oscar would say, okay, I want to come over this week. And I would say, great, come on over. And we would botanize. And he would tell me what the plants were called. I would write it down. And I ended up with a plant list for my father's property that I created. And then I tagged plants on the property with Oscar's help.
Oh, that's nice.
It was so
Wow.
awesome. And he was such an amazing man. Let me say that he was 89 when I met him.
Wow.
And we became fast friends. Just again, kind of like stepping into my dad's shoes. And that was where I really started to understand the depth and breadth of what my dad was up to. Not so much native plants, but a lot of tropicals, anything edible, anything medicinal, anything psychotropic, and anything unusual. So, and because of the environment down there, it was easy for him to grow a lot of things. No frost.
Oh, that's great.
Which is really great.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I thought was interesting is learning about soil. So I had like a mini crash course in soil science. Because my garden, this is a vernal pool, and it's
floods every year.
Every year it floods.
That's
So
it's totally underwater.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every year it is swampy acres.
Yeah.
until it clears up.
Wow.
But it's also
that's why you put all the rock edge on,
that's
right?
why I
To
raised all the
it?
garden beds.
I remember doing that. Yeah,
You helped with that.
Was all, yeah, we
Yeah.
had a community working that day. I
Yeah,
think.
we
Yeah,
did.
We did.
That was awesome. So good.
Yeah.
So this soil is thick and rich.
Yeah.
The soil down there was alluvial. So it's coming down off the mountains and it's sand and rocks. Whole different way of watering and taking care of things.
Then your dad's place. Yeah. Okay.
Then my dad's
Yeah,
place is alluvial. So it's sandy. So I had to learn how do you
Water goes
water
through
that? How do you
fast.
take care of it? It does.
Yeah.
You cannot put a slow drip on. Here I put a slow drip on and the drip does this underground. My dad's property, the drip does this.
Right.
So you can't do it.
Right.
You know?
Really small particles.
Very
so
small,
it's-
and it just sips right down. So I couldn't understand at first why he had so many sprinklers, like overhead sprinklers. And then I went, oh, I get it. When I learned about that.
Yeah. You have to turn it on several times, right?
Yeah,
for a while.
yeah. And it has to be, it has to spread. You have to spread the water before it hits the ground.
Right.
Remember telling Oscar, says, I have no idea how to take care of this with the dirt. He says, I have a friend. What is his name? John? And he wrote a book called Dirt.
Oh.
And Oscar
I think I
says,
have that book, actually.
yes, you need to read this book. And I did, and it was like this crash course in soil science. I love it. And I actually met the author because Oscar knew him. So, I mean, just talk about just the web of people that you meet, that you connect with through plants.
Yeah. Oh,
I love it. I love it.
And talking about community, I'm switching gears here.
Yeah. I like it.
So you have a lot of community events at your garden here, and what inspired you to hold community events here?
Such a good question.
Yeah.
I think for me, I know that once the garden got developed, it took a while to develop this garden. There was nothing here.
Yeah.
There were a few baby redwoods and one giant pine.
Yeah.
That's it.
And it's always an ongoing process in the garden.
Always. As
Yeah,
you
it
know.
gets better and better.
It does. It gets better. And then some places start to look tacky and then you revamp that.
Right.
But when I finally felt like that it was a garden and it wasn't just a whatever, a non-garden, let's put it that way. I realized that it was too amazing not to share.